Hello students, today we are going to learn about p block elements 1. In previous year we have already learned the s block elements. We have seen the properties of lithium, sodium, magnesium, like that, isn't it? Likewise, in this unit we are going to learn about the p block elements, that is group number 13 to 18. In this unit we are only going to see about the group number 13 and 14. 15, 16, 17 and 18 we will see that in next chapter, that is p block elements 2. Okay. Why this is called p block elements? Can you remember? When the last electron enters into the p orbital, then it is p block elements. Okay. And why this is so important to learn? Because most of the important elements are present in this group. For example, oxygen. Can you imagine life without oxygen? No, isn't it? It's present in p block. And carbon, the basic element present in all organic compounds, isn't it? It's also present in the p block. Next one is aluminum. Aluminum can be used for various purposes, isn't it? And in modern electronics, silicon and germanium can be used as a semiconducting devices. Okay, let's get into the chapter. We are going to start with the general electronic configuration, that is NS2 NP126. So what is N? N represents the principal quantum number. Okay, that is the orbit, first star, second, third, fourth. We have already learnt in the previous year. Here the groups have separate names also. Group number 13 are called as icosagens, 14 tetragens, 15 pentagens, 16 chalcogens, 17 halogens and 18 inert gases. Okay, the general electronic configuration we have already discussed that is NS2NP126. That is 13, the first electron enters into the p orbital. 14, second electron enters to p orbital. Likewise 15, 16, 16, 17 and 18, they have completely filled configuration. That's why it's called inert gases. The highest oxidation states of this group represents the total number of electrons in its valence shell. For example, in 13 we are having 2 electrons in s orbital and 1 electron in p orbital. So 2 plus 1, 3. In 14, s2, p2. So total 14. Like that, 15, 16, 17, 18 having the highest oxidation state. Okay. But the important thing is the other observed oxidation state. Here you can notice that group number 13 we are having positive oxidation state is generally observed. This is because most of the elements are having metallic nature in this group. Okay. So what is metal? Metals having the electropositive nature, that is they can readily lose their electron and forming a cation. In this group, except boron, all others are metals. Here you can see that the blue boxes represents the metals, green box metalloids and the violets are non-metals and the pink ones are radioactives. Okay, so in this group only we are having metals, non-metals as well as metalloids. Okay, so group number 13 having plus 1 as the common oxidation state, and halogen you have already learned that is fluorine, chlorine, bromine having negative oxidation state, that is minus 1. Why it is having minus 1? Because they already got 7 electrons in its valence shell. We have already learned octet rule, that is when the element having 8 electron in their valence shell, it becomes stable. So halogens readily accept an electron and form negative ions. In some cases, positive oxygen states also possible for halogens. Okay. In group number 13, we have already seen that except boron, all other elements are metallic in nature. The non-metallic nature of boron is because of its small size and it having high nuclear charge. This is the main cause for its non-metallic nature. You can already know that when the size is small, the outermost electron is strongly attracted by the nucleus, so it cannot remove that electron very easily. Okay. Next, we are going to discuss about the ionization enthalpy. What is ionization? The energy required to remove the last electron is called ionization energy. In this group, you can see from boron to aluminum, the ionization energy decreases. For boron, it almost 800, and aluminum, it's 577. We already know that when traveling from group, from top to bottom, the ionization energy decreases because of the size of the atoms or increases. But in this case, from boron to aluminum, it's okay, no problem. From aluminum to thallium, there is only a marginal difference between the ionization energy. There is no any greater change in the ionization energy. This is because the presence of D and F orbitals, they are having poor shielding effect, so the electron cannot be easily removed. This is because the poor shielding effect of the D and F electrons. Okay. When the shielding effect decreases, the effective nuclear charge on the valence electron increases. As a result, the ionization energy, there is no greater change in the ionization energy. In the remaining groups, there is no change. It follows the general trend. Okay. Okay, students, we will discuss the other topics in the next class. Thank you for watching.